The world seems like such a small place nowadays, but every single year, new species are discovered, like legitimately every single year. And sometimes it can be a subspecies, something, nothing crazy about it. Sometimes you're just like, oh, it's a new spider, which a lot of times the new spiders just have like a cool little thing or a cool little design or it's, whatever. But, when something new is found, you got to think like we think at the time, like we've been everywhere. We've seen everything. And with the amount of new animals that come through that we have no idea about, it's like we don't know anything. We don't know anything. We don't know how many species live in the ocean. We don't know what's still down there. I'm not saying Megalodon's real. I don't think it's still alive. But point being is that every single year we find new stuff. And a lot of times they're small. There's not many big animals left that we don't know about. But some of these animals have some cool adaptations, like this killifish that was recently discovered. Scientists in Bolivia discover a new fish species that can live outside of water. Isn't that kind of the point of being a fish, is to live in the water? Researcher Haynes Arnold Drawert has been researching freshwater species in Bolivia and documenting unusual behaviors and the ability to alter their respiration. Scientists in Bolivia announced the discovery of a new species, Moana, a genus of Rivalidae, of the Rivalidae family, which currently comprises 20 valid species, as mentioned in a 2022 paper in Neotropical Ichthyology, which is the study of fish. The new species is named Wanderiba killifish, Moem wanderibensis, and researchers Heinz Arno Drawert describes its voluntary immersion and ability to alter its respiration as something that could be relatively common in rivalids. In 2018, he began his research on Moama, blah, 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 and the family Bolivia, blah, 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 blah. Was discovered this year. The new species of rivalid collected in the Bolivian lowlands is a small and brilliantly colored freshwater fish that, after being observed, stayed attached to the glass above the water surface or lying on the floating leaves of water plants for several hours. This behavior was previously not reported in Moama and suggested that evolutionary adaptations for an amphibious lifestyle are also present in this genus, explained Drawert of Neotropical Ichthyology. This peculiar fish reaches about 5 centimeters in length, has a greenish lead-colored body, and has colorful spots and patterns. It lives in specific and temporary water ecosystems in the forest, Drawert added. However, this discovery only assured Drawert that his hunch at the age of 15 was correct. The fish he had found at the time and suspected was a new species happened to be Wanderiba killifish 25 years later. So he discovered this when he was a kid and then realized it truly was a new species when he was an adult. That's awesome. Their eggs can withstand drought. They bury them in the mud and soil at the bottom of the puddles. Nothing happens to the eggs. One of the main features of this fish is the adaptation of the eggs, he told national media. The researchers emphasize the importance of protecting this newly discovered species because in the last 20 to 30 years, there have been an enormous expansion of forest cutting. A great part of the habitat no longer exists, and we can easily say that 60 to 70% of their natural habitat has disappeared. That's sad. So this fish is adapting to be able to survive outside of the water for long periods of time as its habitat shrinks away. And its eggs can also survive being dried out. Like lungfish do the same kind of thing. They protect themselves in a little cocoon under the mud. But if these guys are basically able to survive long periods of time without water, and then when the water comes back, they rehydrate or whatever, I don't think there's really much fish besides the lungfish that can do that, is there? I know other fish can survive outside of the water, like a lot of catfish can survive as long as they're damp, and there's a few fish, but they constantly have to be damp. Do these guys dry out? Doesn't go into much detail on that, but that is awesome. And the fact, again, newly discovered things are happening all the time. And I love stuff like that, especially now that I'm getting more interested in like the smaller animals, like especially spiders. Like I'm definitely more interested in spiders than I was. I would definitely like to own a few more of them just so I can get a closer look. But like I'm starting to be a little bit more open-minded. I don't kill spiders anymore. When they're in the house, I let them go, sort of thing. And, I'm trying to, even if it's a nuisance, cockroach, sorry, you're dying. But, all those other animals that are important to the ecosystem, I try to let go. But I mean, point being is that the smaller animals matter too. And something as little as a fish that dries up in the riverbeds is really cool. And, I think that's something that people should know, that like life is outside of our little purview. And I thought that was really cool. But anyway, I know this is a little shorter and a little different than what has been going on recently, but, I want to talk about all sorts of stuff. So if you like this, leave a like, comment, and let me know what you think about this whole thing. And I'll see you on the next one. Keep it wild.